Hey guys, we're back. Dustin's gonna take a little break. He said he was getting a hit on Grinder or something, whatever that means. I didn't even know he skateboarded. Got him. But
Yeah.
uh, I got a quick replacement, buddy of mine, Vergie. Say hello.
Hello.
And I got her. I want to shed some light on Bungie's new DLC for Destiny, Rise of the Iron Lords, aka Bungie's new cash cow, because everyone's gonna get it, even though they hate it.
Yep.
But before we get into that, how you doing? You're in
I am,
Korea.
I'm doing great. I've been here for about 2 months. This is my second time being in Korea. The last time I was here for 3 years. So maybe I'll take an extended vacation here again this time.
How long are you there? Is it scary? I
Uh,
imagine.
well, I'm closer to the DMZ this time around, so there's a lot more things that could happen. Um, as of right now, it's no different, honestly, than the last time I was here. So it's not scary at all. I've
Well,
been a lot more busy.
well, after that, after I seen on the news of that guy ripping down that sign, was that in Korea where he got like 15 years hard labor?
Oh, yeah. Well, that wouldn't be South Korea. That would be North Korea.
Or I'll
Our
just avoid
communist neighbors to the north.
I'll just avoid them all just to be safe. So what do you do
Uh,
there?
uh, hmm?
Are you a sergeant or a captain or?
I am a staff sergeant in the Army, and right now I am here as an air traffic controller. I can't really get into the details of my job, but we have bits and pieces all over Korea, actually, so it's pretty nice.
Wow, I'm I never even left the country. Everything just sounds so scary to me.
Join the Army, see new places, shoot things, maybe.
Yeah, so I know you've been in the service for the better part of the decade now, right?
Yeah, actually, for the last decade.
Nice. Got it in my notes for a decade.
hmm
I did better
I
part just to be safe.
Oh yeah, it hit 10 years in June 21st.
Well, good, good. Stay safe out there. So, you're also an admin on this Facebook page called Bodysnatchers, Anime, Comics, and Gaming,
I am.
which is this place is it's an oracle of anything nerdy and cool. I go there for all my information, all my I don't go to Reddit anymore or forums. I just go there, and everyone seems to know everything about anything. So
That
so I
I
want
was just
to.
gonna say that is absolutely true.
But the thing is, when I go on there, I'm always wrong. So it's just like real
It's cool.
life.
We'll correct you. It's good.
You know how I feel about real life. So
Oh yeah, that's why you escaped to virtual reality. It's cool.
so I encourage everyone listening to check that out. When this episode comes out, I'll put the link to Body Snatchers below because I think it's closed. It's not secret, right?
Yeah, it's a closed group. And yes, everybody, please come and check it out. You get to see a lot of different cosplays that are shared into the group. I actually do cosplay and I share my own work there. Some of the other admins, not so much, but they share other people's cosplay. And if you like to see half naked chicks doing cosplay, that's the place for you.
Right, right.
Um,
I try and put as many naked chicks on there as I can before I get my third strike.
oh Lord. But and they also like anything anime, video game related, you will see it on that page. People talking about new games, people posting nonstop like Pokemon Go things, because every time something new comes out, you get a million posts. But it's all fun and I have not had an issue on here with anybody being aggro, so that's good too.
Are you
It's
playing
just a
on
good
Pokemon
community.
Go?
No, sadly, Korea has mapping issues, so they refused to release the maps for South Korea to Google and Niantic until about around August 25th because they want to make sure that all the military bases and restricted areas are removed from it. So, as of right now, the only places that you can catch Pokemon in South Korea are a place called Sokcho, which is technically north of the 38th parallel. So, by mapping standards, it counts as North Korea, even though it's not. And then the other place is in Busan slash Ulsan, which is on the southeast corner of the country. And that's only because, for some reason, Japan claims a couple of rocks on the beach. So you're able to get it there.
Man, we're talking about Destiny, but I just want to say just a few. How long has Pokemon Go been out? Like a month now?
Yeah, just over a month.
There,
Maybe a couple days over a month.
where did all these like extra map apps come from where you can find exactly where they are, or that they got the little joystick now where you can fake your location and just walk around?
Dude, the second that that came out, everybody and their mom just got into coding, I guess, and just made all kinds of shit for it. I mean, it's really awesome, and hell, if I had access to it, I would probably be making a lot of different mapping things on where to find Pokemon.
Well,
But
I had no choice because I liked the way it was. GPS. You had to go to the Pokemart. It was fun. But now, whenever these Android users, the with the Cricket phones, I'll say,
mhm.
they got their maps and all that. My phone is jailbroken, so I'm able to. My resources are vast. So now it's just like who can cheat fastest.
Yeah, I mean, if I could get a mapping system on my phone that would pretend like I'm in the US, I would be in heaven.
Yeah, but as far
So,
as I know, that your character has to physically like walk there. I think it goes as
yeah.
fast as a plane, so you'll have to
Uh-huh.
watch your phone for like fucking 17 hours.
Yeah, it'll probably just be for 14 hours. So, whatever.
Just destroy that battery while it's on the charger.
Yeah, just let me leave my phone in my room. Not like I can do anything with it anyway.
All right, so Rise of the Iron Lord coming out September 20th,
Yes.
and they say if you pre-order it, you get a Iron Gallahorn rocket launcher.
Yes, you get a black colored Gallahorn because they are bringing it back just for this expansion.
Yeah, which is I guess the only change is it's black and shiny, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be the only heavy you'll see in the Crucible for the next couple months after the
You
release.
know what? I'd say yes, but the Dragon Breath is really awesome right now.
I
But with
do.
that being said, I have a feeling like they're going to be assholes and they're going to nerf the shit out of what it was, back in year one.
The Dragon Breath is only good if they're not smart enough to jump out of it. Like you can tell
Yeah,
if you
but
shoot three people and the good guys jump out of it, and then the not so good guys just spin around and die.
yeah, that's true. But you can also, with that, and I'm sure it's something that's always been on it, because I didn't actually get a Dragon Breath until year two, so I wasn't one of those fancy people in year one because I wanted one so bad. But you hold the trigger basically until you go over someone, and then you release it. It drops a napalm
Yeah, the
bomb on them.
napalm. Yeah,
Yeah, so it fucks up their world. But if the Gallahorn still has the wolf pack rounds and everything, I mean, it's gonna be badass.
yeah, and this
So, and they haven't really released much except that it's gonna be black. That's the
yeah.
only thing they've said.
I seen pictures HD. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it because I'm not really a sword guy. I don't. Every time I get a heavy in the Crucible with a sword, I literally just block the bullets until they eventually kill me. So
I've been so mad with that because I still don't have my exotic sword. I'm struggling to get this moments of triumph
me,
for year two. I need to like within the next month
me
because
neither.
hate
I have no interest.
yeah, and I hate the sword so much. And I'm
So
just like, I should just do it just so I can be better than other people. But then I see that sword and having to kill 50 people, and every time, I'm sorry, 25 people, and every time I get sad again.
right in the Crucible, I use my heavy machine gun, but in
Mm.
PVE, it's all that Dragon's Breath. It
Yep.
takes out everything, it burns everything, makes you feel good about myself.
Oh,
But
yeah. I think it makes everybody feel good about themselves. It's the equivalent to a short person having a big truck with a lift kit.
I'm
It's
way up
good.
there. I'm way up there with that rocket launcher.
The dragon's breath is the lift kitted truck of destiny.
So they got new story and campaign quests. I wonder how long those are going to be because the DLC is only $30.
It's only $30, and I think that's because Destiny realized that when they put out Taken King and they wanted like a shit ton of money for it, even though it's an expansion, that they were like, maybe we should help people out a little bit,
I,
and they
I,
just
I,
took $10 off of it.
I don't know why they can't rate it on hours. Like the like 10 hours of campaign and quests.
That
Something.
would be nice because most other games, like for instance Witcher 3, when they put out their expansions, they're like 30 hours of new gameplay. All right, cool. I know how much I'm getting from, paying for this. But as far as I know, there's supposed to be a new raid. There's supposed to be a new strike. There will be obviously a whole new storyline. You have to play through the storyline to unlock the strike. And you know what? These things, we don't know anything about the new strike. We don't know anything about the new raid. Just there's going to be one. There's a new Crucible mode also, which yet again we don't know anything about. But we do know that there will be another place, kind of like the tower or the reef, that
Yeah,
you can
new
just kind of go
social
to.
space.
Mm-hmm.
Social space, it says here, spelled incorrectly on my notes. They also got something new Plagueland zones.
Yes, so the Plague Lands is supposed to be in that area that was kind of blocked off in Russia with the big old wall. And essentially, what ends up happening is you have the Fallen from the House of Devils, which, if anybody remembers back to one of the very first strikes that ever came out, when you're fighting, is it Sepix Prime? I think it's Sepix Prime, the big servitor
Yeah,
for
yeah.
one of the first strikes. These Fallen are obsessed with technology and making themselves machine gods, essentially. So it's all focused on those specific Fallen, and they've broken into the Plague Lands to try to get this virus that mutates people basically into machines.
Is this an
So,
expansion of the Crozmadome?
yes, it is.
As if they needed to make that place bigger.
You know, the Earth is a big place, and you can only go to like what? One place?
Well, I'm doing that
Russia?
I'm doing that mission now where you need to find the three targets, high
Ah,
high price targets,
yeah, I
and
gotcha.
I'm just going around finding scout missions. That's all they like I run into, and it's taking forever.
Yeah, it does. I really hate that bounty thing that pops up when you're actually on planet. It's kind of dumb.
But yeah,
Um, so
so for
so yeah,
30,
the plague. I'm sorry, I
go
was just
ahead,
gonna.
go ahead.
The plague lands. Basically, it's just a branch off from Russia. You go in, you fuck up some fallen devils, and you unlock a raid.
Yeah, well, I see. I love this because there's always someone that they think Bungie's just a bunch of crooks, but I encourage all games to do this to where you're playing it for a while, then they just update it with something new so you can keep playing it.
And you know what? I encourage it, but I also call them crooks because I'm gonna spend the money on it because I am invested in this game series, especially since they said it's supposed to be a 10-year game. So they're gonna continue making updates to it regardless if the sequel's supposed to come out next year, but they're going to keep making updates to it. Now, something with this, and I don't know how many people still play it on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, it will not be available on those systems. It will only be available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
As it shouldn't. If you don't have a current gen console, go to
Yes.
work. Go to work. Stop.
Uh-huh. And you can only play it if you already have the Taken King expansion. So if for those of you that have been kind of waiting to get that, this is kind of your thing. You got to get it to be able to play the new content.
Well, it's dirt cheap now, isn't it? I think I seen it on PSN for like a 30, $20 for a couple
Yeah,
days.
it's
So
pretty cheap. So if you get both of them, it's just like you're buying, maybe a brand new game that somebody turned back into GameStop and now you're getting it used.
but it's worth it. I tell everyone that this game, once you're invested, like you said, you'll be playing it for hours.
Oh yes, and especially after so we had our first expansion, I'm sorry, which was the Dark Below. Kind of very disappointing. Like I really liked the raid, but it was just like, okay,
Well,
and
it was just a raid and a couple strikes, right?
it was. And some storyline because you got to learn more about Eris Morn. And then you had the House of Wolves, which was okay, and it was nice because it was free 99, so you didn't really have to pay for that one. And then Taken King came out, and it skyrocketed. So if anybody was ever disappointed with the last two things that came out, Taken King completely revolutionized what we had before, and it just made it 100 times better.
What
And looking at the Iron Lord, or I'm sorry, the Rise of Iron, it's looking like it's gonna make it even better.
Yeah, exactly. When I seen how well Taken King did, I knew that every DLC from there on out was going to be fantastic because they found out how to make that money and what they needed to do.
Yes, now all they need to do is just make it so we can have some of these wolves that Lord Saladin has, and I'll be a happy camper. I'll probably play forever.
Those wolves did look cool. I was
Yes.
hoping that they'd be included because they were they kept putting the camera towards them, and I'm like,
Oh
man,
yeah, I
that'd be
mean
cool.
they're in the story, but you can't do shit with them.
I mean, it'll make a wolf like a heavy weapon. So whenever you use the wolf, he's there with you, but you're still using your primary, and then he just walks around and helps you like that
Yeah.
douchebag in Fallout.
Yeah. Now, on a different note, there is going to be a new like two-handed double-sided weapon that you're going to be able to use, and it's kind of like the Scorch Cannon was though. So, even though we don't get the wolves, we do get a new limited weapon to be able to utilize.
Yeah,
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the DLC. Isn't just new campaigns and quests, new armor
Oh
and
no.
gear, weapons.
Yes. The light cap is raising again. They haven't verified what it's going to raise to, but I'm going to make a sophisticated wild ass guess and say it'll probably be 340 because it seems like they keep boosting it by 5 points every time they do some kind of update.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say 350 because I think these DLCs are just gonna get even bigger. But that, 340
Yeah.
is fine.
But I could see even if it was up to 350, I could see them like kind of milking that and like putting out another expansion. So,
So let me ask you something. You're excited with the way they're doing this, where they give the DLCs out every what is it, every 6 months or even
about
every year?
I think with this one, so this is a year after the last major expansion. Since then, we got the Prison of Elders update, and they even did that Sparrow Racing, which I wish they would bring back. That
That
was
was so
fucking
much fun.
awesome.
That was
I
so much
destroyed
fun.
so many lives. Like people would quit playing in the middle of the match because I just wrecked shop. So that would be nice if they brought it back. But having little updates every 6 months and having a major update every year, because this is supposed to be like they even put it off as, oh, a year after the Taken War, this is happening now. So it's kind of awesome. And the fact that they decided to make it a 10-year game, regardless of the fact that Destiny 2 is going to come out, it just makes it known that they're going to add up to it until they finish out the whole 10 years, which is pretty awesome as long as they keep doing it right. If it plummets again, I'll probably still buy the content and I'll complain and bitch about it being terrible, but I'll still buy it.
Well,
So,
if Vergie had a magic lamp, would you prefer them doing the DLC or just make a new game? Because Bungie's not working out of their garage. I know they can do it.
yeah, I would prefer them to finish out the 10-year plan they have for this because when they released it, there's so much storyline that they just cut out of it in the beginning, I guess, in a bid to use it for downloadable content later. So there's so much extra, and as you start reading through all of the grimoires and the little codexes, you start learning there's a whole lot more to it. So like for instance, just speaking about the Fallen, since this is going to be a major thing of the new DLC, I didn't know that dregs were pretty much the like, and I should have guessed by the name Dreg that they're the lower totem pole folks because they fucked up somewhere, so they had their arms cut off.
Yeah, yeah, I heard
And so
about
like
that.
it's a yeah, so it's like a punishment for them to be down to two arms, and it's like a humiliation for them. So when you're reading through all the grimoires, you start learning this stuff. As they rise in society, they gain more arms until they get to the point where they're an archon and they have what, like six? So as they just keep going higher and higher, they gain more arms, and if they fuck up, they lose arms, and then they go all the way back down to the bottom to start over again. And then you also have the fact that they followed the traveler to Earth to try to garner basically protection from it because they were dying where they were.
Right.
So essentially, like if we think about it that way, we could, as guardians, just be the assholes like, oh shit, you're here, let's fuck you up. And they're just trying to be saved. So there's like so much when you read that stuff that's like, why did you cut this from the story?
It is, and I believe whenever someone complains about Destiny, I don't feel like they play it like we do, where you read every single bit and you explore every single bit. You take your time and enjoy it because I hear arguments for both sides. One saying how they love how they keep the game fresh by implementing new DLC, and others saying it's just a pure grind machine and the DLC isn't enough to shake the feel of consistency. Which I know it's a grind game, but I prefer grind games.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Is there anything you'd like them to fix or change?
I think RNGesus could be fixed because the drop rate of some things are ridiculous, especially once you get to the higher light levels. To
Right.
still be getting things that are like at 260 when I'm 326 is just like, all right, what am I? Thank you for the armor pieces and the weapon parts. I appreciate that. And something with that some people don't know is just a little bit of advice. Make sure you have everything equipped to make your level the highest it can be. Accept like a package from somebody. Don't accept all of them at once. Accept a package. Look to see what you have. If you have anything with higher light level, equip that and then go to accept the next thing. Because that's a big thing with the Prison of Elders. You generally what I do is I complete the whole Elder Sigil card at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do my 30K and then I'll go through and I'll get the cumulative score of 90K. And then I'll go back to Varix and I'll talk to him. I'll accept the weapons package first. I'll check it out, equip something if it's higher. So like for instance, I got her courtesy or whatever the new shotgun is for them, and it was 330 and my last weapon there was like 326. I was like, fuck yeah, I equipped it, raised my light level, and then I picked up my armor piece, which ended up being 331, which my lowest, it was like an arm guard.
Hmm.
My lowest one before that was 325. So it definitely works. You just want to make sure that you're collecting things and then checking it out, equipping, and then collecting more stuff.
Right, because just like me, whenever I go to the Cryptarch, my Crucible armor and my PVE armor are completely different by light level and modes. So
Hmm.
whenever I go to the Cryptarch, I get my PVE armor because that light level's through the roof, and my Crucible's just trash because I'm only there to impress people.
Yeah. I have a friend who literally would only get the fashionable looking things, and then he would be a trash player because he had such low light level because he was just like, "Oh, I like this wolf fur hat." Shut the fuck up. Stop. I get so mad.
So I'll ask you one more thing, then we'll get out of here. So I see this suggestion whenever I go on Reddit or I'm just browsing the interwebs. They want just a small planet just for raid hookups with strangers, so they can just hook up with six and go. Do you think that would be cool, or does it like dilute the value of actually running a raid and completing it?
It does not dilute the value of running a raid, but I don't agree with just adding a little planet to hook up. Um, I think one, there's a website that's the LFG for Destiny that's really good for that actually. A lot of times you can just put in that you're looking for X amount of people.
Right.
But what I do think that Destiny should do is do matchmaking for the raids, which they still, and from what I was reading, they still haven't done for this new update because there are a lot of people that don't have friends that play.
Uh huh.
So they're always stuck with not being able to do the raid. And it would just kind of benefit them versus having to go through a whole different forum and trying to add people on PSN that you'll never ever talk to again.
Uh huh.
In most cases, I actually talked to a lot of the people that I rated with via that app, but it would alleviate a lot of that. And then you can just get in, you can play, you can talk to them through the Fire Team chat. So it's not like you have to add them to your friends list if you don't want to. And then everybody can just kind of roll through the raid.
Right. And if they have the tool like this online, I mean, I'm pretty sure it should be just implemented into the game, so they don't have to run
Yes.
online or on their phone. They
Right?
can just.
And you would think that they will look at that site because it's not run by Bungie. It's like something that somebody else put together. But you would think that they would look at it, and the fact that they made strikes, all of the strikes, matchmaking, that should have been like a mind blown. We should do it with the raids too.
I agree.
So
Well, maybe in the next DLCs.
we'll see.
So all right, we'll get out of here. You got anything to promote? I know you got a pretty good Twitch page. I watch it from time to time.
Yes. I actually have not been on in a little bit because Korean internet on my military base kind of sucks. But I do try to get on during the weekends. My Twitch name is Apola Star. It's spelled APOLASTAR. And I'll get a new schedule up there as soon as I'm able to, and I'll be streaming a whole lot more. I've been playing a lot of Dank Souls 3, and for the non Ebonics educated Dark Souls 3. I am working at being a good old sunbro with glowing inconsistently, and it's not working too well for me. I'm pretty trash at that game.
You got a Twitter handle from Twitter Sphere?
Um, I believe it is the same, except there's a period in between Apola and Star.
All right.
Yes, and I also have for those that are interested in cosplay and whatnot, and I do post whenever I'm streaming on Twitch on there also. My Facebook page is, you could just look up Apola Star also. It's very simple.
Right. So well, everyone that's listening to this is going to be on the Game Bomb Facebook page. So if you're ever on, just post there, and I'm sure a lot of people will tune in.
Sweet. I will definitely do that.
All right. Well, we'll get out of here. I appreciate you filling in for Dustin.
No problem. It actually, anytime as long as I can get a hold of you beforehand, I will be glad to.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This went very good. So I'll keep you in touch.